could start over, we could start over. Oh, for the lonely, for the ashamed, the misunderstood and the ones to blame. What if we could start over, we could start over, we could start over. 'Cause there's a
All right. Hey, good morning, everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. Let's get started. Time to make a difference in the world. Are you ready? So my question to you this morning is, let's find the music. Here we go. God only knows what you've been through. Hey, listen, it is November 8th.
Phone charging slowly?
Maybe?
This is the fastest phone charger on the market.
What is that going on?
There's a 90%.
Holy mackerel. We've got lots of activity going on here inside the studio. Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Sean Murphy. I'll be your conversationalist here for the next little bit. My question to you is what skill or talent would you need to adapt, to adopt, to have show up in your life so that you could do more, become more? It's really the idea of self-introspection. It's really the idea of being able to deal with delusional thinking. One of the biggest challenges, one of the biggest things that I work with people on is this idea of delusional thinking, right? Tony Robbins says we often overestimate what we can do in a year, and very often we underestimate what we can do in a decade. We overestimate what we can do in a year. I want to create a $600,000 income. Not impossible, but we need one thing. We need one thing, and the one thing that you need that is hard for people to put on themselves is a word called leverage. You need to have leverage over yourself. You need to be able to put some leverage on yourself because it's called discipline. Jim Rohn said discipline is the ability to do something long after the energy or the love or the desire or the feel-good feeling of making that decision is past. That's the definition of discipline. And the challenge is the reason most of us lack discipline is because we lack leverage. Now, why do we go to a job? Why do most people go to a job they don't like? Why do they go to a job they despise? Why do they go to a job that just absolutely makes their gut get into a knot or gives them stress, headaches, or tension in their shoulders? Why? Because they have leverage. The job has a leverage. What's the thing we always say is they'll pay you just enough so you don't quit, and you'll work just enough so they can't fire you. See, that's leverage. That's leverage. One of the challenges is when you begin to understand leverage, you'll start to realize how little you have and how much you have given up. I think it was Archimedes said, give me a fulcrum and a lever big enough and I can move the world. That's called leverage. So how do you get leverage back? First of all, you got to understand, what's the first thing I ask you? If I were to ask you, hey, listen, I want to come to your house, besides you going, why are you coming to my house? If you were to invite me to your house, I say, I would love to come to your house. How do I get there? What would be the first thing you would ask me? Type it in the chat. If I asked you, hey, listen, I want to come to your house, you said, that'd be great. Come on over. Sure, come on over. I say, how do I get there? Where are you at? You'd ask me, where are you starting from? Why do we assume when people come to us and they say they want to join us in business, do we assume where they're at? We assume so much. We assume that people want to make money. Sometimes they don't want to make money. They just want to make friends. They want to be part of a community. Where are you at? How do you feel about where you're at? See here now, all of a sudden, if I were to ask you, as it relates to your goal, as it relates to your dreams, as it relates to your desires, as it relates to your wants and wishes, if I were to ask you, your dreams and desires are here, right? Where are you at in relationship to them? Are you right there next to them? Are you right next to your dreams? Are you right next to your goals? Can you see them? Can you smell them? Can you taste them? Or are you much farther away? See, the challenge is if you don't know where you're at, how do you know how to get started? All too often, people say, I'm going to be rich, and they write down a goal. They do their gratitude for a day, and they think that gets them qualified to get started on their dreams. Can I let you in on a little secret? It does not. It does not. So now the question becomes, if you don't know where you're going, how do you know where you're starting from? Most people don't even have a clear destination. Do you know where you want to wind up in 60 days from now? Do you know where you want to wind up 90 days from now? Are you familiar with it? Do you have it? Have you visualized it, or have you just said it once or twice and it sounds good? You wrote it down on a piece of paper and somebody says, "Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, that should work." Really? Is that how that works? So my question to you is what's got to shift? What's got to change? What's got to be the thing that changes everything? Because once you realize that you need to change the way that you think and the way that you understand, because the best way for you to do that is for you to make sure that you know where you're starting from. We always say that, but nobody wants to look in the mirror. 98% of the population don't want to look in the mirror. Well, Sean, that's a pretty specific number. How do you know 98% of the because those are the people that struggle. If you were to do a survey, 98%, right? 98 out of every 100 people say they're not where they want to be. Would that be because they don't know where they're starting from? If you don't set your own sail, you'll wind up someplace, right? If you don't set your own dreams, your own goals, don't be surprised that other people have dreams set for you, and you probably won't like where they have you winding up. It is simple. Didn't say it was easy. It's simple to say, I got to really sit down and look at where I'm at. And that's called introspection. That's called understanding. That's called self-reflection. But most people don't do that. Most people say, I can multitask and I can do 17 things. And then they go to bed exhausted and they wake up tired, even though they slept 5, 6, 7 hours. How many hours did you sleep last night? Did you wake up fully refreshed and energized and ready to go? Doesn't matter if you slept 2 hours. Doesn't matter if you slept 10 hours. Some people just never wake up energized. Maybe you're starting from a place of tired. Well, if you recognize that, maybe you need to work on just getting your energy back first. Maybe you need to hydrate. Maybe you need to do some good nutritionals. Maybe you need to do a little more exercise. Maybe you need to do a cleansing. I don't know. But what I do know is that if you're tired, you can't make good decisions from being tired. Can you make good decisions when you're mad, frustrated, exhausted? How many of you have even said, drop a T in the chat if you've ever said, I'm tired, I can't make that decision right now? Just saying. If you've ever said you're tired, I can't make a good decision, how's the last 20 years of your life going? Do you walk around with a smile on your face, or does somebody have to remind your face how to smile? Wallace D. Wattles, in his book, Science of Getting Rich, says it's not about doing certain things. You have been doing certain things for a year, for a decade, for 2 decades, 3 decades, 4 decades, 40 years you've been doing certain things and not getting the results. Why would you keep doing that? Einstein said, and I don't know if Einstein ever said it, but that's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and 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 over, expecting different results. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. So how do we shift this? It comes down to our self-talk. It comes down to our self-talk. The things we say to us. We have more conversations with us than anybody else on the planet. We have more conversations with ourselves than anybody else has with us on the entire planet. Period. It's the law. It's the truth. Like it or not. You talk to yourself more consciously and subconsciously than any other human on the planet. And your current results are based upon your current conversation. Your current status, the way you feel right now, the energy you feel in your body or the lack of energy you feel in the body, the confidence you have in your body, the confidence you have in your abilities, or the lack of confidence you have in your abilities are based upon how you talk to you. You can go out and find evidence where people have confirmed your lack or confirmed your greatness or confirmed your averageness. But you're only confirming what other people have said, and you have stored those memories so that you can have the confirmation. See, all we are confirmation beings. Well, I'm not tall enough, or we don't believe in that faith. We're not that religion, or we don't come from that level of finance, or I never really understood money, or I'm not good with relationships, or I love children, I love puppies, I don't like cats, or I have allergies to everything. A lot of what we have is based upon what we said. How many of you, an example, here's one with my bride. When she was little, she didn't like tomatoes. But now as she's an adult, she loves tomatoes. Any of you have something similar to that? Drop a 2 in the chat if you've ever had something as a child you really didn't like, but now you're okay with it. Right? And if you want to type it in the chat, what was it? Some people, oh my God, I couldn't like, coffee was blah, but now all of a sudden they love coffee. I understand tastes, bell peppers, love it. I understand that tastes change. Chickpeas. How cool is that? Chickpeas. I never thought I'd see that in writing on in my chat box. Chickpeas, I love it. Peppers. So my point is this. All of this to say, pay attention. What is it that you don't like about success? Listen carefully. This is going to hurt. Wacky Wednesday. What is it about success you don't like that you may need to fall in love with? What is it about success that you might not enjoy right now that you're going to have to fall in love with? For most people, it's this thing called rejection. And when you truly understand rejection, you'll fall in love with it because it's not you being rejected. Could you imagine a waiter who comes out to a table at a restaurant, a fine restaurant, and says, our specials for the evening are a fresh caught salmon, wild caught salmon, filleted and baked and broiled with lemon butter and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And we have another dish that is pheasant under glass, and we have another dish that's Wagyu beef, filet mignon, center cut, blah, blah, blah. And everybody says, no, I want the spaghetti. Very well. Would you like that with angel hair pasta? Would you like it with linguine? Would you like it with flat noodles? Could you imagine every time if a waiter came to you and told you the specials and they said no, they went back to the kitchen and went, oh my God, this is not special. I can't do my job. People want what they want. Now, if they come, I've owned restaurants. For some of you that didn't know that, I've had a 4-star steakhouse. I've owned family style buffets. I've owned all kinds of, I've owned nightclubs and bars. We were a steakhouse. We weren't a pizza joint. We had people come into our restaurant and say, y'all don't sell pizzas? Well, we don't. We could probably make you one if you would like to wait a little bit while we assemble the ingredients. But no, we're not a pizza house. It's called Murphy's Steakhouse and Pub. Key in the word, steakhouse. See, the challenge is that a lot of times people, when they come to meet with you and have a conversation with you in the business, they want to learn about your business, they don't understand business. And then you try to teach them business. You're not in the business of business. You're not in the business of business. You're in the business of people. And when that flows into that brilliant brain of yours, that when you realize you're in the business of people, not in the business of business or comp plans, you'll be able to have a conversation that will allow more people to join you in business as opposed to more business joining you with people. See, your business can't join you to people because they don't understand your business. But when you understand people, you can join people with people. It's called community. It's called connection. So what do you do with all of this? How do you assemble all of this? What do you do to put all of this in play? Ask somebody. In the next 30 days, there's something that's eating your lunch. What would you like to be able to wave the magic wand? If I were to give you the magic wand, I don't even know where a pen is here on my desk. If I were to give you this magic wand, this huge Sharpie, and you were able to paint the picture of your future in the next 60 days, what would you want more of? Two options, more of or less of in your life. See, we always think people want more of something. We always think people want more of something. That's the delusion. That's what business is. More. People sometimes want less. Drop an L in the chat if you've ever wanted less. Drop an L in the chat if you ever wanted less in your life. So if you've ever wanted less in your life, why would it not make sense that you could be sitting across from a prospect who would want less in their life? But you keep talking about more and six-figure incomes and seven-figure incomes and blah, 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 blah. Maybe they just want less. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Pay attention to how you build today. Are you building business or are you building people? And whose business are you building? See, when you talk about comp plans, you're not building your business, you're building a company's business. It's a good thing. A lot of great comp plans out there. But the question then becomes, if you're building a comp plan, then all somebody has to do is have a better comp plan. But you know what they'll never have, even if they have a better comp plan? You know what they won't have? You. They won't have you. Aren't you the reason people do business with you? Otherwise, we'll let AI take over and do all of the recruiting and do all of the training and do all of the conversations. They want to be in business with you. If they want to be in business with the comp plan, then it won't be long before they're in business with another comp plan. Learn to speak human, and you'll become a better human. There you go, ladies and gentlemen, for this wacky Wednesday. It is Wednesday, right? I think it's Wednesday. I hope everybody has an amazing, fun-filled day. Instagram, I love you tons. I'll see you a little bit later. I'm going to start doing a daily show in the afternoons. I don't know, mornings or afternoons. I haven't decided. We'll see. We'll see how that plays out. But it kind of ask me anything to help you go build your business and prepare for 2024. So I love you tons. I appreciate you. I'll see you where? I'll see you at the next fun-filled, brain-scrambling event. Till then, bye for now. And YouTube, love you bunches. Appreciate you. I will see you where? I will see you at the next fun-filled event. Tomorrow morning, same bat time, same bat channel. Till then, bye for now.